Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as the Pittsburgh River Hogs take on their Keystone State rivals, the Philadelphia Cougars, here in the Steel City. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Northup, and joining me in the broadcast booth this week is John Warren. How you doing, John?
Doing all right. I'm excited for this Keystone State matchup. Obviously, the loser of this one goes home. But not only are bragging rights on the line, but a trip to the next round is on the line as well. I'm really excited.
The winner of this game will face the winner of Albuquerque-Lexington. And then the winner of the Chicago-Nashville game will advance to the SFLm championship game on January 1st. And the loser of that game will play in the bracket loser final on December 28th, so a lot of moving parts here as Philadelphia will elect to receive, so we'll see their offense on the field first. And for Pittsburgh, John, they're going to put their defense on the field.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia is going to want to hand this ball off to Brandon Brennenstall a lot. He's really been the star of this Philly offense, and I'm looking forward to see if he can move the ball against this line against for the River Hogs.
Kickoff by Arthur Jackson. Jackson Arthur is returned up to the 26-yard line by Philadelphia, and we're going to first look at Kenny Slider, Brandon Brennenstall, and the rest of this Cougar offense here on this 1st and 10. Here's Kenny Slider, number 2 under center. He's got 2 backs behind him, Brennenstall, the deep back, 3 wide receivers. We'll get to the rest of the lineups after this play, which is a Brennenstall handoff up the middle, hurdles over a down man, and we'll pick up 9 yards to make it 2nd and 1. So in addition to Brennenstall, there's wide receivers King Alexander, Brashad Kay, and Ryan Davis. Daisy Peace is the tight end, and Christian Swifty and Lucas Walters are the offensive linemen. 2nd and 1. Pitch out and immediate tackle in the backfield for a loss by number 44, R.C. Puff for Pittsburgh to set up a 3rd and 6. He's joined out there by Mojon Tana inside. Noah Davis is the other outside linebacker. Jubilee Marsh and J.C. Wallace are the safeties. Theodore Rocker and Bubba Bruiser are the defensive linemen. 3rd and 6. Slider, man in motion to the top of the screen. Set. And Slider back to throw. Fires complete for the 1st down. That is to K.
That's a big 1st down. After that Brennenstall 1st down run that went for 9, it got back into a 3rd and long situation, and Brashad Kay was right there on time. That was a well-placed ball by Kenny Slider.
Let's see what Slider elects to do as he goes 3 wide out of the I formation. Fullback in front of Brennenstall. He takes the pitch this time as a clean block. Shoulders one man down to the ground before he's tackled short of the 30-yard line. Brennenstall showing off some power there, John.
Yeah, Brennenstall has got a low center of gravity, a little bit shorter than a lot of the running backs in the league. And you could really see it here. This low center of gravity. He's lowering his shoulder. That is shoulder into sternum. Could not bring the man down. And he got quite a few yards after that carry as well. And this is what I'm talking about. If Philly gets in rhythm with Brandon Brennenstall, Pittsburgh is going to have an answer for it. And I don't know. There's a lot of balance here on this Cougars offense.
1 man behind Slider. That's the fullback. As Slider's back to throw. Fires over the middle. Complete for about a 4-yard pickup to Alexander. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Mojon Tana kind of plastered King Alexander on that play, but it's good to get King Alexander in rhythm early because that balance, like I referred to, is going to be important as the game goes on.
Now they bring in 2 extra tight ends. His slider tosses it out to Brennan Stahl, and Brennan Stahl stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1 as the man he ran over gets his revenge to set up a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that kind of seems like maybe one of the keys here. I don't know if Philly can really lose unless they kind of stop themselves. I mean, Brennan Stahl couldn't really get around his own blocker there. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty nice game.
3rd and 7. Slider back to throw. Pumps. Now he goes down. It's sack time. The defensive lineman came screaming in for Pittsburgh. That's Bruiser, number 99, and that'll force a field goal attempt from Philly.
Yeah, Bubba Bruiser looking like Bruiser Brody on that play. Absolutely slamming Kenny Slider to the turf. That was a rough sack. He just held on to it too long. He was looking for a man downfield. Pump fake. Could not find anyone. And now Philadelphia's got a punt.
Knocks him out of field goal range to boot. Punter standing at just over the 50-yard line. Return being set up by Xavier Knight. As this is a relatively short kick high in the air. A bounce at the 20. Take a Philadelphia bounce to the 10. And the River Hogs will be backed up to start their first offensive possession of the ball game. Quarterback is number 19, King Jackson. BB Balitz is the halfback, number 27. Eric Duncan, Xavier Knight, Timothy Mossam King are the wide receivers. Keith Wheeler and Jimmy Wynn are the tight ends. Kiara Kinganon is the center, and Trey Hyman is the offensive tackle. Here's the pitch out to the running back. Balitz breaks the tackle, but only manages to pick up 2 against a tough Philadelphia defense.
Balitz has scored 5 touchdowns in the regular season at least, but this offense really revolves around Timothy Mossam King. 6'6", 226 pounds, really impressive physical specimen who's just also really good at the wide receiver position.
We'll get to the Philadelphia defense after this play. 2nd and 8. Back to throws. Jackson fires underneath. Catch made. That is Wheeler. A pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Pittsburgh. River Hogs with a bunch to the bottom. Jackson again back to throw. Has to run out of pocket. Throws back across the field. It dropped. It would have been enough for a first down. Xavier Knight unable to haul that in, and Pittsburgh will be forced to punt back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, Xavier Knight kind of a third option all season for King Jackson, but it's still usually a little more sure-handed than that. So that's a kind of a killer 3 and out to start this offensive series for Pittsburgh.
Miller, standing from his goal line, will punt it away. Returned by Davis. He'll be tackled on the Philadelphia side of the midfield stripe. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. Never too late to get involved. Kenny Slider up under center. He's back to throw, has a clean pocket, fires down the field, it's intercepted. Intercepted and returned by Pittsburgh up the field, down the sideline, 30, 20, only one person can get him, and they finally bring him down at the Pittsburgh 13. My goodness.
What a return. I mean, that is just how you turn what was a 3 and out, not a lot of momentum. Now you've completely flipped it. You gave them incredible field position, and now you've completely reversed it. Washington almost scores on this play, but is tracked down by just, it looks like the fullback, and yeah, that's one of the linemen. So lucky that wasn't 6 already, but incredible field position at 1st and 10 for King Jackson and Pittsburgh.
Let's see what Pittsburgh elects to do. It'll be 1st and 10 on the Philadelphia 13. We'll get to that Cougar defense after this play, I promise. I know I said that beforehand. Has got Knight in motion to the bottom of the screen. Philadelphia shows blitz off to the left-hand side of the offense out of split backs. Jackson back to throw against the blitz. Has to run out of pocket, throw back the other way. Oh, it could have been a touchdown to the fullback, but instead it's broken up by Joaquin Lopez, the strong safety. And he's joined out there defensively, starting with defensive end P. Fedor. Emmanuel Pereira is the defensive tackle. Luis Quintana is the inside linebacker. Morgan Brown and Dusty Killebrew round out the linebacking core. Havo Ramsey, Luke Schreiner, and Justin Analus round out the secondary as this throw underneath the Muslim King finds the end zone. No, that's Knight Rider. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Well, they had to capitalize, right? They had to come away with points here. You can't get that short of a field, and they're happy to come away with 6. Right? They're in their home crowd. Philadelphia has been very strong at times this season, so getting out on top early, probably good for this River Hogs team looking to move on to the next round.
And the crowd here at the Hog Pen, well, they're very happy right now.
They're a rowdy bunch, too.
Jackson Arthur on for the PAT is up and good. So that was a short 2-play
9
drive,
seconds.
taking less than 10 seconds to score following the gigantic interception return by their defense. And Pittsburgh's in front 7-0.
Yeah, if your time of possession on a scoring drive is less than what it takes to heat something up in a microwave, your defense has got to tighten some stuff up.
Kickoff is away by Jackson. This will be down in the end zone, and Philadelphia will start 1st and 10 on their 20-yard line. John Warren, what does Philadelphia have to do on this possession?
Well, I mean, first of all, it starts with Kenny Slider forgetting that. Okay, like we know Kenny Slider is a talented quarterback. He can put that stuff behind him, lean on Brandon Brennanstall, and it'll be okay. I mean, I think the passing lanes will be there if they get Brennanstall in. He's just got to forget about this and move on to the next drive.
Trips to the bottom for Slider, who's back to throw. Fires down the field off the hands of Davis, the intended receiver, incomplete. 2nd and 10. Boy, Philadelphia looks out of sorts.
They do. I was going to say the other thing that they're going to have to do is help out Kenny Slider. I mean, Ryan Davis had quite a lot of real estate in front of him if he catches that ball in stride, and they just couldn't connect. And that's going to be tough going forward if the Cougars can't do the simple things like that.
We got an empty backfield. Slider, quick drop. Slant underneath, complete to a receiver. That time, that's Alexander to set up a 3rd and short. What Philadelphia needed for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can get into 3rd and short situations, that's Brandon Brennanstall. It's either faking it to him and opening up some of those passing lanes, or it's just trusting that he'll be able to get those yardage.
Bringing a second tight end, and they'll throw out of this set. A Slider.
Oh, my goodness.
Interception. This time, I think it's the same guy, number 30.
Wow.
No, that's Scott, rather, who got ran over Brennanstall in that first position. And Pittsburgh has turned over Philadelphia twice already here in the first quarter.
This is shocking. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking. I mean, he's got to forget it, but he can't make the mistake again. I don't know what he just looks like. He overthrew that pass. I guess that was another tight end in the flat, or maybe the fullback, and they just couldn't connect. Oh no, that was Daisy Peace. Had Daisy Peace, but needed that ball to be in a tighter window, and it sailed.
So Pittsburgh starts on the Philadelphia 33. Let's see how they capitalize off this turnover. Jackson give to Bullets, and Bullets will pick up 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Going back to that last play, it's kind of tough to overthrow Daisy Peace. She's 6'7". I think you do let your tight end high point it when she's that tall, but it just wasn't a good pass.
I formation. Handoff again, and this time Philadelphia with the stop in the backfield. For a short loss, it'll be 3rd and 5 for Pittsburgh.
The one quick near win that Philly is having here is BB Blitz is not really broken one yet, and if they can contain him, maybe it tightens up some of the options for the River Hogs.
Bunch to the top, Jackson back to throw. Has all day, fires, got a man wide open. That's Wheeler, number 46.
Wow!
Carries a defender into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Keith Wheeler with a spectacular play.
I mean, Wheeler caught this thing at about the 5-yard line and dragged a defender the entire way into the end zone, just would not be denied. And that was just a dot. I mean, he got open, but when that came out of King Jackson's arm, you just knew, okay, this is going somewhere. It just looked like a beautiful pass, and wow, River Hogs all over the Cougars early.
And these Pittsburgh fans are going hog wild as the extra point will make it 14-0. That's a 3-play, 56-second drive covering 33 yards. Slightly longer than the last drive, but still under a minute.
Yeah. These are quick hits, and I mean they had a little more real estate in front of them too. So I'm still pretty impressed with the way King Jackson is moving the ball down the field.
Davis, a couple of yards deep at the end zone, up the middle, get tackled at the 25. And if you're Philadelphia, before you can even blink, you're already down 2 scores.
I mean, they cannot forget that they have a really special player there in the backfield in Brennan Stahl. And that they've got to hand him the ball.
An empty backfield slider. Quick drop again. Has to back up further. Completes this one underneath to Davis. Picks up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Brennan Stahl is only behind Isaac Knox in yards, average, and touchdowns. Knox is having one of those like crazy video game seasons, and Brennan Stahl is right behind him in every category. So, this has just got to be part of the game.
They pitch it out to Brennan Stahl. He gets great blocks, runs over a defender before he gets shoved out of bounds. It'll be 1st down for Philly, his best run of the day.
Yeah, that was a great run. And running behind that line, he could really disappear behind Daisy Peace, 7'6", Lucas Walters, 6'6". You can kind of disappear behind these blockers when you're that short, but you're also powerful.
I formation. Peace lined up as a fullback in the backfield. Davis catches that one, and that's good enough for 1st.
I don't know about you, though, Colin. I'm holding my breath on every single one of these passes right now.
Particularly, look how close Puff was to Davis on that play. Talk about a tight window. My goodness. It's 1st and 10 for Philadelphia short of the Pittsburgh 40. Slider back to throw. Underneath, complete to Alexander, and that's a gain of 3.
Probably the best thing Philadelphia can do is have a sustained drive, a long drive that comes away with points. Maybe even try to bleed the rest of this quarter out. Really control time of possession. It might be a good way to cool them off.
Slider deep. He's got Peace this time, and he hauls it in for a 1st down and more.
Yeah, Daisy Peace is just so impressive of a football player, and she just got open and caught it in the middle. I mean, that's what you got to ask your tight end to do: go up the middle, catch tough passes, Know you're going to get hit, get the first down.
Brennan Stahl offset to the left side. They run a draw play up the middle. Perfect call, and that's him 9 yards as he gets past the 10. Tana on the tackle for Pittsburgh.
But this balance is good. I mean, this drive, it's balanced. It's getting Brennan Stahl involved, opening up some of those passing lanes, and Slider still seems calm, even though those last 2 drives were a disaster.
Brennan Stahl on the pitch. He gets hit in the backfield for a loss of 1. That is RC Puff again on the tackle to set up a 3rd and 2.
And that's on the blocker. The blocker got moved on, and that was just all RC Puff kind of getting around the blocker and making something happen.
Now they flip the formation, run the toss the other way, and it's a loss of 2 more yards on the play. As penetration is made by Theodore Rucker, the defensive end, number 90, and Philadelphia will be forced to try a field goal attempt.
We're doing those left side tosses a lot, and Pittsburgh has had it scouted. Theodore Rocker just living in the backfield.
And the field goal attempt is up and good. That was a 3-minute, 13-second drive covering 64 yards and 9 plays. And Philadelphia's on the scoreboard. They'll take the 3 points, John, but I'm sure they were hoping for 7.
Yeah, 7 would have been better in a lot of ways. I think it doesn't quite tip the momentum all the way back toward Philadelphia. It still gives Pittsburgh the ball back, who's for the last 2 drives, although one was very short, they've been moving the ball pretty easily.
Kickoff. Fielded at the 10 by Mossam King, number 81.
Oh, my.
Spins up the middle, and he'll get tackled at the Pittsburgh 41-yard line.
I mean, I would love to see the average field position stats in real time, because Pittsburgh has just had unreal field position on every drive except for that one where they were pinned deep. But then they reversed the field on the next interception. But wow, I mean, this is just, again, a pretty short field for King Jackson.
BB Balletts is the tailback. King Jackson is the quarterback. 6'6", 225 pounds is Jackson. He's got 2 receivers to the top of the screen, split backs. Get the Balletts up the middle on a dive, and he picks up 7, and that'll most likely be the last play of the quarter. It's been all Pittsburgh so far. It's 14-3 as we played 1 quarter. Pittsburgh in front. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. Welcome back to the Hog Pen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Colin Northrop, John Warren here on the call with you as the hometown River Hogs in front of Philadelphia, 14-3. King Jackson under center has both tight ends in the game. Get the Balletts, and Balletts has a first down for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Balletts is dragging defenders, and he's had a few good handoffs here. He was slow in the first quarter, but toward the end of the first quarter and now into the second, Balletts is playing pretty well.
Got an I formation, 3 wide this time. Jackson quick drop, throws underneath. This is Keith Wheeler. Picks up 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. He's a developmental player. Played last year in the majors with Denver. Second down and 6. Now they bring in an extra tight end out of the I. Balletts is the deep back. And Balletts will get the ball. Has room. Finds his way for the first down marker. for Pittsburgh.
That was impressive. Just a kind of an agile, pretty-looking run from BB Blitz, who gets the first down.
Jackson back to throw. Has to run around the pocket.
Ooh.
Tries to take off, but he'll get sacked for a loss of 3 yards by number 92 for Philadelphia. And that's our first real negative play we've seen generated by this Philly defense in a while.
King Jackson actually had some room. I don't dislike the decision. It's just that he ran out of time going up the middle, and that lineman was right there to greet him.
Second and 13, Jackson. Quick.
Wow.
Oh, the attempted pass was batted in the air and incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Morgan Brown jumped that snap beautifully. That was Troy Polamalu-esque. Really, really, really pretty play, and King Jackson just had no time to get that ball out of his hands safely.
3rd and 13, Jackson will now go with 4 wide receivers. Blitz is the single back. Jackson swings it out to his halfback. He has a long way to go, but he set up blocks beautifully. Gets the first down. Incredible play. Needed 13. Got 13. This fantastic effort all the way around.
Yeah, BB Blitz saw some of the lowered shoulders from Brennan Stahl earlier in the game and said, I can do that too. And just broke a couple really, really good-looking tackles to get that first down.
First and 10 for Pittsburgh. Split backs, 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Jackson on the roll, has a clean pocket, fires underneath. That's Knight who picks up 3 yards before stepping out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLm action and help the channel grow through your support. 2nd and 7.
Another look at that. It's a tough call. I guess Andalus got his arm wrapped around the receiver just at the last second. Looked a little bang in real time. It kind of looked that way too on the replay, but nevertheless, 1st and goal at the 1 for Pittsburgh.
2 tight ends to the same side. Blitz is the deep back out of the eye. No play action. Jackson to the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for the guy he faked it to, his running back, but Ramsey had other ideas. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a nice defense by Havo Ramsey. Just got his hand in there. I mean, it was a clean pass. Good fake too, but just better defense by Ramsey.
Got a paired slot. Single back formation for Pittsburgh this time. They pitch it up to the backup, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Blitz takes a breather, and Garner, his backup, comes in, cleans it up and gets the 6 on the stat sheet. I don't think Blitz is going to care all that much, though, because Pittsburgh is up now 20-3, probably about to make it 21 if Jackson Arthur puts through the extra point. But good blocking. Just too slow. Justin Andalus could not get there in time.
How about the block by Xavier Knight on the cornerback there, able to spring Garner free to the end zone. As Arthur's extra point is true. It's now 21-3 following a 10-play drive. And Philadelphia finds themselves in a deeper hole.
Yeah, it's not the game I expected. I expected a pretty back-and-forth competitive game. 2 teams fighting for their playoff lives in an interstate battle. But, Philly's got a lot of time, though.
Kickoff will be fielded at the 15. by Alexander returns it up to the Philadelphia 32-yard line. When you're looking for the most up-to-date information on news and happenings in the Burgh, go to OneBurgh, Pittsburgh's largest social media network. Tune in to OneBurgh's Facebook and YouTube pages and check out the new series, The Incline Show. 6:50 to go in the first half. Philadelphia down 21-3. Kenny Slider back to throw. One-handed catch by Alexander.
What a catch.
And that's the Nice Hands Catch the Game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23.
What a catch. I mean, yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a better catch in the game, so good call, partner. That is the good hands play of the game. Yeah, that's the kind of help that Kenny Slider is going to need to get back into this game. Spectacular moves from their back and wide receivers.
Indeed, as Slider lines up in an empty backfield, takes a 6-step drop, fires down the field, tipped in the air and incomplete. That one looked like it could have been completed, partner. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
It did. This is a trend at this point. You know, we've seen a few drops. I question the empty backfield. I think giving Pittsburgh the idea that Brendan Sell might get the ball is more important than having these interesting passing lane schemes, but that's me.
You got a draw play at the middle. Brennan Stahl is shouldered down after hiccup of 7 to set up a 3rd and manageable. Once again, the draw play works for Philly.
Sure. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You show pass, you do the draw play. Brennan Stahl picks up 7, sets up a really manageable 3rd and short. And I think that's the path. Let's get Brennan Stahl involved on every single series.
Now they get the fullback to the wing. They run a toss to that side, and Brennan Stahl has room. He's up over the 40. He's to the 30, and he'll get knocked down, but not before picking up a huge chunk of yardage for his team.
Yeah, and Philadelphia loves to get in this kind of points-to-go area. It's not quite the red zone, but you're probably coming away with points unless something disastrous happens. And it's Brennan Stahl, 76 yards on the day so far.
Tackle made by Jubilee Marsh, the free safety. It's Kenny Slider. Single back in the backfield, a line to the right-hand side. 3 wide in total. They pitch toward no, that's the backup who picks up 5. So it doesn't matter who Philadelphia throws back there to run the football. They still manage to get yards.
Yeah, Swifty and Walters, they anchor this offensive line well. I mean, they're getting some pretty decent blocking when they run the ball, kind of no matter who has got it. So why not?
Brennan Stahl back in, and this I formation play. Nice stiff arm on Tana to pick up the first down, and Pittsburgh is back on their heels all of a sudden. It'll be 1st and 10. Brennan Stahl now lying to the left-hand side. They run the draw up the middle. He's got all kinds of room, but the linebacker gets his revenge as Brennan Stahl picks up 5.
Yeah, Mojon Tana really smacked him in the middle of the field, but he still got 5 yards out of it, so it's still a win, I think, for Philly.
I formation, piece lined up as this one receiver in the formation. Slider changes to play at the line. It'll be a pass underneath. Ooh, Peace was in the area, but alas, the ball did not arrive in her hands.
Yeah, Slider audibled out of that. I wonder if it was just a standard run play with those tight ends in there. Tough to change the play call when you don't have King Alexander or Benshad K or Ryan Davis in there, but 3rd and 5 coming up.
Here to go empty one more time. Slider to the end zone, tipped and incomplete, and Pittsburgh forces another Philadelphia field goal attempt. Is that the linebacker R.C. Puff out in coverage? Pass intended for K, number 14.
This is the 2nd time that Philadelphia has gone down to this area of the field and just kind of made it too hard on themselves, it feels like. It feels like they're trying to call plays that didn't really get them to this point. It's like they get up to the line and they go, well, we know it's been working up until this point, but we can't try it again. It's kind of an interesting thing happening with this offense, but they might come away with points.
Field goal is good. And it's now 21-6 as they go 10 plays, 58 yards. But end up with another field goal. So they carve into the deficit a little bit here with 4:10 to go in the first half. But they're getting field goals, not touchdowns here in the red zone.
Yeah, and making this a 2-score game, it feels important for sure. And they should probably be pretty relieved that they're coming away with that. But yeah, they need to start scoring touchdowns here.
Return up the middle. That is Wallace up to the 29 for Pittsburgh. And the River Hogs, well, they've been busy, John. Let's see what they cook up here for this possession.
Yeah, and it really feels like King Jackson has settled into a rhythm here too. I mean, Timothy Mossam King has really not gotten that involved, and Pittsburgh has scored 21 points. I mean, that's huge.
Balletz gets the carry, picks up 2 yards. As Morgan Brown on the stop, and it'll be 2nd and 8. As Pittsburgh will line up in an I formation. 2 tight ends, 1 receiver. I believe that is Mossam King to the top of the screen. Jackson, quick drop, throw over the middle. Batted in the air, incomplete. Looking for Wheeler. Sets up a very quick 3rd and 8.
Yeah, King Jackson asked a lot of Keith Wheeler on that play to kind of get his head back after about half a second after the play, take a hit in the middle of the field, try to get a first down, and Wheeler couldn't even reel it in. But I don't really blame him. That was a tough ask.
Now Wheeler's in motion to the top of the screen to make it a 2-by-2 look. In terms of receiver distribution, Jackson back to throw, has to dump it underneath the Balletz. This worked well last time, and it'll work again. This time for huge yardage, jump over to 50 before tackled out of bounds by Lopez.
That was just a good play call. I mean, it didn't have to even develop all that much before the ball swung out there. Some of the defenders bit on it. Good blocking downfield. Good running for BB Ballots. That was just a great play call and to move the sticks. So play stays alive. Could be the beginning of a long drive here.
1st and 10 for Pittsburgh out of the split backfield formation. And the backup, Garner, who scored the touchdown earlier, gets the carry. As Balletz gets the ball, picks up 5 yards.
A lot of traffic for Garner, who's a little bit smaller than BB Ballots, so it was a little tough sledding for him. But getting 5 is not too bad for first down.
It'll be 2nd and 5 as Balletz is now back in the lineup. He gets the ball, has room, breaks a tackle, and will get up over the 25-yard line. It'll be first down, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, really nice broken tackle there for BB Ballots too. Yeah, that was an impressive play, and Balitz is really coming on in the second quarter, and that could spell trouble for Philly going deep into the game.
Now they line up with 3 wide receivers. Balletz gets the ball once again, but this time only able to pick up a yard as Quintana brought him down, number 54.
I'm a little surprised they haven't tried to test up the sides of the sidelines of Mossam King or Eric Duncan. But, they'll probably start opening that up, but I'm a little surprised that they haven't yet.
2-minute warning here in Pittsburgh. River Hogs on the move. They're up 21-6. King Jackson. There's 2 receivers to the bottom. Timothy Mossam King, number 81, to the very bottom. Bullets for the handoff again, and he runs over Morgan Brown to set up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, impressive. BB Bullets obviously didn't skip leg day this week and dragging a couple players, breaking a few tackles. Just had a really impressive first half so far.
10 carries, 51 yards for the Pittsburgh workhorse.
Not to mention 32 through the air, I believe. So balanced attack.
Yes, on a couple of huge screen plays on 3rd and long. It's a 3rd and short. Garner on the carry, and he picks up the first down. Everything's coming up for the River Hogs.
Yeah, and just good blocking. And it starts right at the point of attack, too. Kira Kilgan at center bought enough time for that play to develop, and patient running from Garner, too. So everything going right.
Jackson's back to throw. Tipped in the air and incomplete. Lopez got his mitts on it. Clock stops with 65 seconds left.
Well, I said everything was going right, and then he almost throws an interception, but it went right through his hands, so no big deal. 2nd and 10.
Jimmy went out there along with Wheeler. 6'3", 250 is Wint. As Jackson sprints to the left side, throws an outcut. Catch made by Knight, who gets out of bounds, only 1st and goal.
And the way that play was designed, King Jackson really had a couple places that ball could have gone and still probably gotten yardage, but he probably picked the best option. Xavier Knight able to get out to the outside and cut up field for a few extra yards and gets the first down, setting him up for a 1st and goal at about the 6.
Knight already has a receiving touchdown. It'll be 1st and goal for Pittsburgh. Bullets is the single back. As Wheeler goes in motion. He's the other touchdown reception from King Jackson. Play clock at 5. Jackson throws to the end zone. Mossam King touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Mossam King just looks like a tight end out there. Just a big-bodied wide receiver. He's in the back of the end zone. Just throw it up. Let Mossam King go up and get it, and he does. And the River Hogs are going to go up 28-6 here in the first half.
Oh my.
Philly's got to regroup. This is brutal so far.
As Jackson Arthur on for yet another extra point. And it's good. 11 plays, 72 yards. So they can both do long distance and short distance, John. As proved by that drive. And if you're Kenny Slider and company, you got to be wondering, how can we stop the bleeding?
Yeah, and you know, obviously those mistakes from Kenny Slider are important, but I also think, like, okay, you got away from Brendan Stahl, I think, too early, and now it feels like it's too late to kind of go back to that game. So Slider's going to have to do it through the air probably, and they're going to have to come up with some good schemes, good play calls to kind of bail them out, and those receivers are going to have to actually catch the passes once they get to them. So a lot that Philly's got to work on. I think it's possible, but they're definitely in a hole.
Let's see what they elect to do first. It's 1st and 10. 3 wide as Peace lines up as the fullback in front of Brennenstall. Slider sends Alexander in motion to the top of the screen. Slider back to throw. Tipped in. Oh, Taylor got his hands on that one. But it looked like Alexander still had an opportunity to catch it even after the deflection.
Yeah, he could have turned around maybe, but it stayed in the air so long that Jubilee Marsh actually had a chance at it too. So they're lucky to get away with that one.
2nd and 10, 50 seconds left. All 3 timeouts at Philadelphia's disposal. Kenny Slider underneath, and it's a drop as Taylor once again laying the wood down, this time on Ryan Davis.
That was great defense. That was great defense.
Sets up a 3rd and 10 for Philadelphia. They go 4 wide this time against a 3-man line for the River Hogs. Back to throw is Slider. Pumps. Goes long down the middle of the field, in the air, and incomplete. I think Kay had it, but Slider did all he could to get there, but Jubilee Marsh had other ideas.
I mean, that was even a big blitz by the River Hogs. So you're waiting for Kenny Slider to let it go into some open space. I mean, obviously there are fewer defenders out there defending the pass, and they still couldn't connect. I mean, this is just a really, really tough first half.
Punt is away by Philly. Oh, and it's a boomer all the way back to about the 20, and Pittsburgh will take over on their own 24 with 32 seconds left.
What do they do, Colin? Do they try to march down and score again before the half? Really put them in a hole? What do you think?
Well, you're up 28-6.
You just don't want to make a mistake.
They went conservative, but if they elected to mash down on the gas pedal, I wouldn't be too surprised either. Bullets on the toss, breaks a tackle, has good blocks up over the 30, picks up 7 yards, and it looks like they'll just be content to drain the rest of this clock.
I think it's a good call. I mean, King Jackson's been taking care of the ball. He hasn't turned it over. He hasn't made any mistakes, but you're up 22. You might as well conserve a little bit and go into the half up big.
It's almost like it'd be the last play. Bullets on the handoff. Gets the first down short of 40. But it puts a bow on what has been a very dominating first half for Pittsburgh. They're up 28-6 in the half. And John Warren, my friend, we're going to get a look at the numbers. We're going to get a look at the stats. But what do your eyes tell you?
Well, my eyes tell me that Pittsburgh came to play, especially on defense. Obviously, Mo Montana has been really dominant in the middle. It had some big hits on Brennan-Saul that might have affected their decision making. Good secondary work with those 2 interceptions. So the defense is really there. But I think the surprise is BB Bullets, who has not been as dominant on the ground as Brennan-Saul has been for Philly, but really mixed it up both through the air and on the ground. And this offensive line has been impressive too. So really kind of an all across the board great performance for the River Hogs. And Jackson's got 3 touchdowns. So obviously you got to talk about him too.
On 9 completions.
Yeah.
So half of it, almost a quarter of his completions have gone for touchdowns in the end zone.
That's efficiency. Yep.
Just amazing stuff right there by Pittsburgh. And they get the ball first to start the second half, so Philadelphia's defense will have to try and hold serve.
And they've got to be tired. I mean, hopefully they got rehydrated in the locker room. Maybe they got fired up.
Austin King on the return up to the Pittsburgh 41-yard line. So the Riverhawks get outstanding field position to start this drive, the first of the second half. As you look at the numbers from Austin King in the return game, he has the receiving touchdown to his credit. It'll be 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh out of the I formation. Wheeler lines up as the fullback in front of Bullets. Knight in motion. Cross formation. Jackson back to throw. throws on the run. Wheeler out of the backfield makes the catch, but we got a flag down. I think Wheeler was tackled by the face.
Yeah, it was. Let's see what kind of, it was incidental, or yeah, I guess it was incidental. So tackle on another 5.
Ball moves to the Philadelphia 43-yard line as a result of the penalty. And when you're down 22, John, you can't shoot yourself in the foot with penalties.
No, you can't. And, you know, as efficient as King Jackson has been, you can't give him any sort of freebies there.
Billets catches this one out of the backfield, only picks up 3 yards after the reception to set up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they get into the, you know, we saw a couple of really short drives at the beginning of the first half. And then a few really impressive long drives. I think they're probably going to skew towards that long drive mentality, try to bleed some clock and make it really tough for Kenny Slider to get back into this thing.
2nd and 7. Billets out of the ballgame for the moment. Wint, the tight end, in motion. Here's to get to Gardner, who had a touchdown earlier. He's carrying people past the first down marker. Pickup of about 8 yards. And number 25 is putting in his work, too.
Yeah, Garner's really the beneficiary of BB Bullets getting so many tough carries, having to come out of the game a few times, but also the beneficiary of some great blocking. So, yeah, 20 yards for Garner. This run game for Pittsburgh has just been stout.
Indeed, yes. It'll be 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. King Jackson operating out of a split backfield. He's back to throw. Down the middle, Wheeler, who had a receiving touchdown in the first half, picks up 8 yards there in his first catch of the second half. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and King Jackson saw that right away. Look at this efficient stat line. 12 completions, 128 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's had a pretty easy day at the office so far.
Billets on the carry, breaks a tackle. Gets tackled just short of 15-yard line, I think. It'll be 1st down again for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and again, great blocking. I know I'm a broken record, but these runs that kind of look like they might only go for 1, maybe stopped at the line, they're going for 5, 6, 7, and BB Bullets is just looking great.
As Wheeler lined up as a fullback, as Jackson has to run out of pocket, but he won't escape Brown, the linebacker, who sacks him just behind the line of scrimmage.
That's the second time that's happened. King looks like he's going to spring, and at the last second, a Philly defender comes in, wraps him up. Morgan Brown that time spotted that he was about to scramble and met him right behind the line.
It's 2nd and 11. Now the receivers go to the bottom side of the formation as Jackson goes that way. Boston King, he's got his 2nd touchdown for Pittsburgh, and it's party time for the River Hogs.
I mean, just when it maybe felt like Philadelphia was starting to figure some things out, put a little pressure on King Jackson. Nah, let's just ball out to Timothy Mossam King. Let him run this in.
Making it look easy.
Joaquin Lopez didn't look like he wanted any of Timothy Mossam King in open space. I know that's not true, but it just it's just Timothy Mossam King's just impressive. So big lead here.
It is now officially 35-6 with 7:15 to go. That was a 7-play, 59-yard drive, 2 minutes, 45 seconds taken off the clock, and Pittsburgh in front 35-6. We knew this Pittsburgh team, they were explosive. It's just we didn't figure it'd be just explosive for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect them to be on pace for 63 points in a game. Definitely not.
As Philadelphia returns it up to the 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars to start their first drive of the second half. Have you ever wanted to be a play-by-play or analyst broadcaster? We're looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for this minor league season and the next major league season. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call as Brennan Stahl picks up 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2.
95 yards for Brennan Stahl, and it feels like he should have even more carries, and I don't know if he will because they've got to pass the ball to get out of this hole, but it's another toss.
They tossed it to him, and he has room past the 40-yard line. It'll be a 1st down for Philadelphia.
He just runs with so much purpose, Brennan Stahl does, and I love watching him run the football.
The last run put him close to 100 yards. Let's see if he'll get to it. A slider throws down the field, has Davis open for the 1st down. Just behind the linebacker there.
Yeah, Davis snatched it out of midair. It's a nice catch. We haven't seen a lot of these nice catches from Philadelphia in this game, but that was a good one. And if he didn't get all the way on that ball, that might have been a J.C. Wallace pick. So good job from Ryan Davis.
And 1st and 10 for Philadelphia on the Pittsburgh 45-yard line. Just ahead of it, Alexander. Always open, his teammates call him. In motion to the bottom. They pitch it that way. Brennan Stahl has room, hurdles over one of his down teammates, and he picks up a huge chunk of yards on 1st down.
Yeah, they might call King Alexander always open. I'm going to call Ryan Davis always blocking because he pancaked his man en route to Brennan Stahl getting, look at that block. I mean, come on. That's a receiver out there. That's a 6'1", 200-pound receiver pancaking his man, springing Brennan Stahl to the left side. That was a really impressive play.
Gotta love the effort from this Philadelphia crew. They may be down 35-6, but they're still fighting. His slider is operating with an empty backfield against a 3-man line. He's back to throw. The blitz is on. Throws. Has Davis open. And the blocker gets a touchdown in the end zone for the Cougars.
And that's kind of what we expected when we saw the all-out blitz last time. We knew there were going to be opportunities down the field for Kenny Slider, and he took advantage of it. He just got that ball just past where the defender could get him, and Ryan Davis strolls into the end zone. It's still a game. I mean, we're talking midway through the third. They're about to make this a 22-point game. This is not over.
Extra point is up and good. So it's up 35-13, capping a 5-play, 71-yard drive with a touchdown pass to Davis from Slider. Kickoff is going to be set. The ball is away. Mossam King fields it just short of his 20-yard line up the middle and gets tackled at the Pittsburgh 37. Now available free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL and download our mod at simulationfl.net /4K23 Retroid, the official console of the SFL. King Jackson under center with 3 wide in total. Gives off to Bullets, who breaks a tackle and motors forward for about 9.5 yards, John.
Nice play by Bullets, yeah. And the winner of this game, by the way, goes on to face the winner of Albuquerque-Lexington, which is happening right now. In the second quarter, Albuquerque is up 14-10. And, of course, the losers of both of those games will be eliminated. So a lot at stake here.
Bullets, 14 carries, 80 yards. Second in less than one. You can pretty much sneeze and pick up a first down here. Jackson gives off to Garner. He stopped but continues to turn forward for a first down.
Well, like some of the my least favorite sneezes, that one kind of took a while to wind up, but then it finally happened, and Garner did get the first down. So,
well, it's a relief for Pittsburgh in any case.
Yeah.
First and 10, split backfield, pitch out to Bullets, and he's tackled after pick up a 2 at the 50. By Dusty Killebrew, number 51. Haven't called his name much today for Philadelphia. Second and 8, Wheeler. Lined up in the backfield as a fullback. In his 3 wide set. He'll go out in the pattern. Jackson fires. Ooh, it's Awesome King. It'll set up a 3rd and 8. Luke Schreiner in on to knock it away.
Yeah, I think that was great defense by Luke Schreiner there, and we haven't really called his name at all. Habo Ramsey's had a couple of impressive plays, but Luke Schreiner getting in on the action in a tough matchup with Timothy Awesome King.
Now they go 4 wide receivers. Now they go screen again. This has worked several times.
Wow.
Schreiner picks up the first down. BB Bullets has put on a show in the receiving department this evening.
Yeah, he's had a lot of really good blocking, but this was a lot of individual effort because he did get hit and was able to spin out of it for the first down.
4 grabs on 5 targets for 47 yards with a long of 20. Just impressive numbers, showcasing his all-around versatility for this Pittsburgh team. It's 1st and 10 for the River Hogs on the just past the Philadelphia 40-yard line. Draw play. Bullets has room, and he picks up 7.
Yeah, steady diet of Bullets. Obviously, Philadelphia had a really nice offensive drive last time. Pittsburgh trying to grind it out to give them even less and less and less time to make something happen here.
This is Joker's pair with Wheeler to the bottom. Bullets gets the ball once again, but he's stopped. Oh, they say he picked up 2. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Generous spot there.
I agree with you, partner. That was indeed a very generous spot. There's Dusty Killebrew, 5 tackles today from his linebacking spot. Now Awesome King split out wide as King Jackson audibles to something else. Get the Bullets, first down to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Single receiver to, no, 3 receivers out, including the man in the slot is number 10, Eric Duncan. Who's 5'10", 240 pounds, 5'11", 240 pounds as a wide receiver.
Built like a bowling ball. Eric
As
Duncan
Bullets is now up over 100 yards. He's at 105 for today. For the 2nd and 3 situation, they have 3 tight ends on the field. When they get the Bullets, he follows his blocks and picks up yet another first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 10.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's really been impressive about BB Bullets, we talked about, just the ground game overall. We've talked about him in the passing game, but just yards after contact. He's getting touched close to the line of scrimmage on a lot of these plays and still managing to get 4, 5, 6 yards. So just really impressive running.
Guys, 245 pounds at 6 foot.
It's tough to bring down, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not only big in terms of weight. He's big in terms of height. He bring him down that time for a short loss. Quintana, number 54, leading the charge. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Blitz is kind of built like Brandon Jacobs, the old New York Giant running back. Just tall, big, good in a few different situations. Impressive player.
Impressive indeed, especially tonight. All play, Blitz gets taken down at about the 4. It'll be 3rd and goal as we wind under a minute to go in the quarter. Third and goal for Pittsburgh from the Philadelphia 4-yard line, we'll call it. Blitz on the carry. He gets stopped at the 2. Quintana on the tackle, and King Jackson will be trotted on to try the field goal attempt.
Yeah, this is obviously a chip shot for Jackson Arthur, but Philly's got a lot of ground to make up. But holding him to 3 here is interesting.
And it is now 38-13. That drive, 14 plays, 62 yards, just over 5 minutes taken off the clock. As Pittsburgh comes away with 3 in the red zone.
That 3, though, does turn this from a 3 to a 4 score game, though. So that is important. 25-point game means Philly is going to have to get this ball 4 times and score. So still a big deal that they came away with points.
Yard out the end zone. Davis up the middle, up over the 20, cuts outside 30, has room, 40, 50. Ryan Davis 30, 20, 10, and he's going to take it all the way back as I see no flags. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Wow. What a turn of events here. That is remarkable. Ryan Davis just finds enough daylight and then cuts to the left side of the field and just turns on the Jets. They're going to turn this into a 3-score game now. And, I mean, wilder things have happened just like that. Pittsburgh's offense is going to have to come out and have another drive after having a few long ones. So this is this is getting interesting.
Indeed, as line up for the extra point. And it is now 38-20. And just a blink of an eye. Wow, that has to be a huge play for Philadelphia.
It is, and it takes some pressure off of Kenny Slider. He's not the one that has to go down and score 4 times now. They're cutting into that load that he has to carry. So I think that's a good sign.
Muslim King just short of the 10-yard line when he fielded it. Break a tackle, and empathy Muslim
No way.
King, he's on his way.
No way.
Are we going to see it? 30,
no way.
20, 10. Yes, we are. Back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns. Mighty squads. Timothy Muslim King, you are ridiculous.
All right, now take everything I just said about a minute ago and throw it out. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Timothy Muslim King might have just slammed the door shut on everything I just said. That is incredible. What a play by Timothy Muslim King to say, nah, let's forget about this comeback attempt. We're going to go up again by 25. Unbelievable.
Literally 2 seconds ago, it was 38-20.
It's 14 points scored in 2 seconds. I love it.
And now the extra point is going to make it 45-20, which it is. We played 3 quarters. Put your 4s, 12s, 86s, 68s up in the chat, folks. Oh, we've had a wild and crazy game in a number of ways. It's 45-20 in favor of Pittsburgh. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Welcome back to Pittsburgh. I'm Colin Northrop. John Warren is with me this week. And if they're still sounding like we're catching our breath, that's because we are. In the last 2 seconds of the previous quarter, 14 combined points were scored. Back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns by both these teams.
Yeah, that was kind of the double espresso shot I needed to get back into this game for the fourth quarter. That was wild.
1st and 10 for Philadelphia on their own 31-yard line. Kenny Slider brings out his team. He'll send Daisy Peace to the other side of the formation. Slider, pitch out to Brennanstall, who's been efficient today. He picks up 2 yards on the first down carry. Combo tackle made by Wallace.
Yeah, and I don't know what to even do if you're Philadelphia, right? You're so energized by getting that kick return, and then Mossam King just says, forget all that. What do you do?
Brennanstall hung up behind his own blocker, who could stop the line of scrimmage for no gain to set up 3rd and 9 for Philadelphia. Slider up under center. He's got 4 wide. Sends a man in motion. That's number 81. To the bottom of the screen. Slider back to throw. Has all day to throw. Great protection. Lofts it down the field. Catch made by Kay, who steps out of bounds, and they say he's short of sticks.
That is a bonkers spot. I would not be surprised if they challenged that, because yes, Kay had to come back to it, but I thought he had control of it beyond the line.
And they are indeed challenging it. Okay, folks, let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. Certainly looked like in real time Kay had the first down, John. Let's take another look.
I mean, unless they're saying he bobbled the pass, but even then, I didn't even see him go back beyond the line. So that is.
Oh, he was beyond the line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that.
And they do correct their error. Philadelphia did pick up a first down, so that was a key challenge there by the coach. And Pittsburgh's not happy about that one. For the moment, anyway. It'll be 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. Clock stopped at 8:49 to go in the game. As Kenny Slider will swagger up under the center. He's got 4 people out wide, including Brennanstall in the slot. Kenny Slider back to throw. Down the field. Got him in open, but it's fumbled and dropped by Davis. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. The guy who's been kind of a bit of a hero had the kickoff return as well as receiving touchdown. Unable to haul that one in, John, and he was open.
I mean, this is. I don't know if it's the difference maker. I don't know if Philadelphia would be ahead necessarily, but these drops tell part of the story of what happened to this team tonight.
Bunch to the bottom, 2nd and 10. Slider rolls opposite the bunch, has good protection. One-handed catch by Alexander. Hauls it in just short of the Pittsburgh 40-yard line. It'll be 1st down. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore the library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. Now the bunch is up to the top. K motions out of the bunch. As Slider's back to throw. Fires down the middle and it's dropped. This time it's K. Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, good defense, so let's give credit where credit's due on Pittsburgh's side, but these balls are finding the hands of these receivers and they're still not coming down with them.
8:06 to go in the ball game. Kenny Slider back to throw. Moves in the pocket, fires down the field. Catch made by Daisy Peace, who falls on top of the defender at the Pittsburgh 20. It'll be first down.
Yeah, Daisy Peace, that's a tough catch right there.
Right in front of Marsh, the safety man back there. See the numbers for Slider, 13 of 24 for 170. He does have the 2 interceptions, but he did chunk a very nice touchdown pass. Kenny Slider back to throw. Down the middle.
Wow.
Oh, Davis. He had it in his hand, but Scott had other ideas. Great play by the defender there.
I mean, it was so long ago, too. Those 2 interceptions from Kenny Slider, you kind of forget how detrimental they were to the momentum of this Cougars team. It allowed Pittsburgh to get up early, and they just haven't really looked back. So those were 2 crucial moments for this game, looking back.
On the 20, Brennan Stahl on the pitch. Stiff arms him in. Gets to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and in. Touchdown. Brennan Stahl will not go down.
That was incredible. I want to see a replay. I want to see if he might have stepped out of bounds here because it looked close. But regardless, that was an absolutely bananas effort by Brennan Stahl here. The stiff arm to start the run. And I don't think he did. And then he just absolutely carries RC Puff into the end zone for about 6 yards. So, wow. I mean, obviously Brennan Stahl probably needed to get more involved earlier in this game, but making his mark now, and Philly's going to go score 1 point here, and now they're only down by 18. I mean, it's still a lot, 7.5 minutes, but what a drive.
Wow, indeed. It's now 45-27, 7:26 to go. Interesting to see what the Cougars elect to do. And they do elect to kick it deep. It's a much deeper kick, and this time Wallace will return it. An east stop at the Pittsburgh 28-yard line. Coming up next, the top 2 teams in the SFLm this season square off with a spot in the SFL championship game. January 1 on the line. Nashville, Chicago kickoff at 10:15 Eastern right here on SFL YouTube. Should be a high-flying, fun game, John.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun one. I got the opportunity to call a Chicago game earlier, and they look really good. So it's going to be really tough. But I think that's going to be a good game. Isaac Knox is an incredible runner for Chicago, but Nashville's got Switch Thumper at quarterback, and I think it's going to be a great game.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Nashville defense. It might not have a lot of personnel, but what they do have, they're very fundamentally sound, and they did things to this Philadelphia squad that surprised a lot of people when those teams played.
Absolutely.
2nd and 6 for King Jackson. This is going to be a heavy dose of bullets, who gets hung up behind his own blocker, and he'll be credited with a gain of no yards on the play.
Yeah, and to update everyone on the other game that's happening right now, Lexington Albuquerque, the winner goes on to face the winner of that game. Albuquerque holding a 2-point lead, about 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. So close game there. A little bit closer than this one, but this one still got some life in it.
Jackson.
Oh,
down he goes as the corner gets home. That's Kelly there. And Pittsburgh, they tried to go to the air, but Philadelphia with the perfectly timed slot blitz from the defensive back.
I mean, King Jackson just had no idea that was coming, and Kelly got around that offensive line so fast, and now Pittsburgh is going to have to punt this away. It's interesting here. If Philly gets something together in this drive, we're having a very, very interesting fourth quarter.
Miller to punt it away for Pittsburgh. Returned by Davis up to the Pittsburgh 49-yard line. Check out Yensylvania.com for the largest collection of Western PA-based gear. Whether you're representing Brady's Bend, Squirrel Hill, or Mount Washington, wear your area with pride. T-shirts, mugs, and more can be found at Yensylvania.com. 1st and 10. Kenny Slider underneath. King Alexander is open, picks up 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
All right, Colin. I'm about to start a flame war in the chat. Are you a cheesesteak person or like a fries on a sandwich person, like at Primanti's in Pittsburgh?
I'm a cheesesteak guy.
All right.
2nd and 6 is Brennan Stahl on the pitch. Although, to be fair, I've never had fries on a sandwich like from Matthews Brothers out of Pittsburgh, but
I've had fries on a sandwich. I mess with it. I think it's pretty good. I mean, I've never been to Primanti Brothers. I need to, but I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Slider back to throw.
Woo!
Overshoots his man on 3rd and 2, and that'll be 4th and 3. What do you do if you're Philly?
I mean, I think you got to go for it. I don't think they're going to, which I think is a mistake. You don't have a lot of time left, and it's not like it's a close game. You got to kind of get points on the board. I think punting is a mistake here, but what do I know? There's a reason I'm in the booth.
Tuba will aim this one to the corner. And this
wow,
one out of bounds inside the 5. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, you don't get a wow from me that often on a punt, but that was a perfect coffin corner.
They mark it at the 4-yard line. Pittsburgh has to be careful here as they start 1st and 10. Jackson. Lutz picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I mean, even moving the sticks here once kind of devastates the Cougars' comeback attempt. So Cougars have really got to tighten up, make sure the run game doesn't get much more than what they've given up so far, and hopefully hold them to a punt.
Jackson being careful with the play clock. Snaps it at 12. Bullets with the ball stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Dusty Killebrew on the tackle. 3rd and 7.
And now maybe the most interesting play call of the game is coming up. Do they let Jackson throw this ball, try to move the sticks, maybe in this game for all intents and purposes? Or do they not risk it? Do they not risk an incompletion? Stop the clock. It'll be an interesting call here.
Let's see what they do here. King Jackson under center out of an I formation. And they'll go conservative, run the ball. Bullets 1st down and more.
Oh.
20. He's to the 30. Snyder with the angle. Can't get him
stays
down
in bounds.
as he gets tackled at the 50 by Andalus. And that's a backbreaker for Philly.
That was a brilliant play. Blitz is not content to just get the 1st down, although that in and of itself was a total game changer, but gets another huge gain after that. Spins into the inside of the field. We thought he was going to run out of bounds, but he stayed in and then got brought down inbounds. That was such a brilliant play from BB Blitz. It was full of athleticism, but also one of the smartest plays that I've seen this year in the SFLm.
Look at that, 168 yards. He picks up 73 after he's been hit.
Unbelievable.
Just amazing, amazing stuff. As Wint, the tight end, will go in motion. Play clock at 3. At 2. Again at 1. Garner picks up 2 yards as Quintana knocks him down after a pickup of 2.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to look at next week's matchup. We don't know who it's going to be against yet, Lexington or Albuquerque. And, BB Blitz, they've kind of discovered, it feels like they've unlocked something here, a feeling of like, let's get him involved in every phase of the game, trust him to take care of things, not have to rely on Timothy Mossam King for all of your explosive plays. It's a big moment here for Pittsburgh.
He gets the ball again, picks up a yard, and that also, to your point, John, takes off pressure of this quarterback.
Absolutely.
King Jackson. It gives him another place to go to, particularly if the defense is giving him all kinds of problems. 2-minute warning. Pittsburgh in firm control. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. There's Wheeler in motion to the bottom of the screen. Pitch out to that side. That was the third down play, and Philadelphia calls time with 1:56 left.
Yeah, you gotta. Hey, I mean, playoffs are on the line. You gotta use the timeouts. Can't take them with you. Why not try to make a stop here? And they did. It's gonna be a punt. They're gonna get the ball back. We'll see what they can do.
Punt is away. Been on the short side, but gets a Pittsburgh bounce. And Miller, he punted the ball, and then he proceeded to run all the way down to about the 15 to down the ball. That's the equivalent of throwing a pass and then a guy catching it.
Yeah, that was a little bizarre. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, downing your own punt, but I'm for it. It's an interesting look.
Ball on the Philadelphia 15. They have 1:45 left. Brandon Stahl in motion. 2 timeouts at their disposal. Down 45-27. Kenny Slater throws it out to K. Picks up 9. And they call their second timeout. They have 1 left.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh can live with those open passes underneath because it's going to take more time off the clock. It's going to force Philadelphia to take their timeouts. As long as they don't give up something up the top and we start getting into onside kick territory, I think Pittsburgh's content to give stuff up underneath.
It is a 2nd and about 1 situation. Slider quick drop again, fires underneath. Alexander with the catch at the 35-yard line, and they use their final timeout. As you see the updated numbers for Slider, he has just the 16 completions, John, but a lot of those incompletions were drops by his wide receivers.
Yeah, there were.
Slider throws it out to Davis, caught short of the 50. It'll be first down, and Philadelphia now has to hurry to the line of scrimmage. For every pass completed to the centered field, catch made by Alexander up over the 40 to short of the Pittsburgh 45-yard line. Back to throw Slider.
Whoa.
Incomplete but a flag.
Interesting call here.
And they're going to get defensive pass interference on Pittsburgh. Number 30 there. Let's get another look at it.
I think they're going to say that he kind of extended here. Yeah, he extended and pushed him to the ground. Probably a pretty good acting job there from Ryan Davis, but still it was effective to draw the flag. And
he also impeded his progress.
He did. But you know what? That's a detail we don't need to get into. It stops the clock, though. That's a huge play for Philadelphia.
1:09 left. Kenny Slider back to throw. Throws deep. Oh, and the pass is dropped. That is a player down on the depth chart for Philly. Clock stopped at 1:05 now. Four wide for Kenny Slider. Back to throw. Throws to the corner. Alexander. First down catch is made as we're now under a minute at the 15-yard line. Clock running. Slider spikes the ball with 52 seconds left.
So this is quick. I mean, Pittsburgh has been a little softer in their pass coverage, obviously, because like I said, they don't want to give anything up deep. But it almost makes you wonder if Kenny Slider is a little more comfortable in this up-tempo system, and maybe that's something to look at for later down the line.
Here is Slider. Throws.
Whoa.
And it's incomplete. What a big hit by Washington, the corner who picked off Slider in the early going.
Yeah, Washington's
had a 3rd and 10.
Couple of big plays. He did have that huge pick in the first quarter, but that was a big hit to break up that pass. That's a good play.
3rd and 10, 48 seconds left. 4 wide receivers in the formation. Kenny Slider back to throw.
Wow.
But coming in the corner gets him. So it was good for Philly. Pittsburgh says we can do that too as they send the DB blitz and it makes its way home.
Yeah, that was a huge blitz. This is not a deep a corner group for Pittsburgh, but they've been really, really good tonight. I've been impressed with them both in pass coverage and of course right there on the blitz. We're gonna go for a field goal here. They need some points. I mean, I don't hate the call.
And that makes it 30-45 with 24 seconds left to cap a 10-play drive.
Maybe so makes me wonder why they maybe didn't just try to field goal when there was about a minute left. But hindsight's 2020. They're going to try the onside kick here.
Ball has to travel 10 yards. If it's called illegal touching, we'll get a redo. Well, and it's short touch by Philadelphia. And I think Pittsburgh fell on it, but let's get a confirmation. Yep. Is it illegal touching? Ball did not go 10 yards. And they'll kick off from their 25 as a result. All right, take 2. Hands team is out there. Kick goes right to the Pittsburgh defender. And he returned upfield to the 24-yard line. And that should just about do it.
Yeah, that got knuckleballed right into the hands team. And, I mean, all they got to do is kneel at once, and that's the end of the game. So Pittsburgh moves on in front of this home crowd. They're going to go home happy. And they will move on to face the winner of Lexington Albuquerque, which is an exciting matchup either way in a few different angles. So excited for a few days from now.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it. King Jackson from his own 24 takes a knee. That should do it. John, it's been a fun time calling this game with you, my friend.
Yeah, likewise. We had some interesting moments there as the third quarter wound down. So it felt like kind of anything could happen. Pittsburgh held on though.
Final score 45-30. Pittsburgh beats their in-state rival. As we take a look at the final statistics, Philadelphia actually had the edge in yards and first downs, but look at the times in the red zone. Philadelphia only scored 1 touchdown. They got 3 field goals. Pittsburgh was in the red zone 5 times, and they got 4 touchdowns. You could argue that was the difference in the game, as well as the 2 touchdowns off of turnovers.
Yeah, those 2 turnovers early really were a difference maker. The drops for Philadelphia also huge, and just really the inability to get Brennan Stahl going. I feel like that was one of those early things that we pointed out that never really materialized. But you know what? That's all for Philadelphia to talk about. Think about next year. Pittsburgh moving on. Really impressed with their all-around effort. Defense looked great. And obviously an incredible night for BB Bullets, who came in maybe a little bit under the radar, but was incredible on the ground, through the air. Just a really, really impressive performance from him and really the rest of this offense as well.
King Jackson finishes with 4 passing touchdowns. Very impressive numbers from that guy, as Pittsburgh beats Philly 45-30. For Colin Northup, my broadcast partner John Warren, thank you all and have a good night.